What's up folks, it's 2bricks and I'm back in with another review. This time we're looking at the Creative Play Droid Builder set. This comes with 1186 pieces and was released in August of 2024 as part of the big 25th anniversary celebration wave of LEGO Star Wars sets. I wanted to talk about the set today specifically because of the inclusion of this tiny Leia figure right here, which I am a big fan of. And I wanted to talk about the set in general as something that normally is something I would just sort of pass by and not really pay much attention to, but I ended up buying it because A, I was curious about the parts and the kind of options that were included in it, and B, because I wanted to get my hands on that little Leia figure as a collector. And it doesn't leave me with a very good feeling. I'm not really super impressed with the set. I'm definitely going to get into the specifics of why as we get along with this. I just think that in sort of the overall idea through to the execution, I think it doesn't really work. And like I said, I'll get into the specifics of why shortly, but I kind of would only want to talk to you about this set today because of the inclusion of what I feel is a sort of a sneaky incentive to make you want to buy something that you otherwise may not want to buy, and that is not cool. So let's dive in and take a look at what you actually get with a set, and then we'll discuss my issues with it specifically. So right off the bat, we have a lot of spares here. This almost looks like a dots pack, like one of those little Lego foil pack dots thingies. There's a few small useful parts in here for custom building, one of these and one of these, which I like a lot, ski pole pieces, but mainly it's just cheese slopes and corner tiles in various colors there, the rounded corner tiles, and that's about it. And then we have our spare connector piece for the Leia display, and then our brick separator. And the set also comes with 4 instruction manuals, so one for each of the main droids, so you will be building one and then building the accessories that go with it. So, say you have a party of 4 people who all want to build this set for some reason, they can sit down and all pick one, and everybody's probably going to want to do R2 or Chopper, but then you can all just draw straws for who gets to do the less well-known droids. All right, so stripping off all of the accessories and things that come with the droids, I just wanted to give you a look at their base configurations here. So obviously R2 Chopper, I think this is supposed to be R2 KT, and then I forget the name of this one, but this is basically an Imperial R5. Actually, maybe it even isn't an Imperial R5. I'm actually pretty bad on my droid identification lore, but I do recognize this droid on site. I just don't recall his name or its name. So there are your base droids. They look sort of like brickheads. They're sort of funnily shaped in the fact that they're squished in this dimension, so they feel long, and then their legs are extra chunkified. So it's an interesting take on the classic astromech droid. They all have these big wide shoulders. They look like they're from the 90s and have shoulder pads, which is kind of funny. And then they have the big feet as well. It's a look, it's a choice, and you can definitely tell what they're supposed to be, but I'm not super fond of the particular way in which they've caricatured the shape of Star Wars astromech droids. Though I do understand what they're going for. It just doesn't really super work for me, but at least these look like a respectable lineup of Star Wars droids that I can get behind. I particularly like Chopper. I think he's my favorite of the bunch, particularly with his little manic droid arms up here. Chopper's already kind of a cartoony thing, and then squishing him even further into the realm of silliness is not too serious. And I think R2 also works decently well. But for some reason, these ones look less right to me in their configurations. I think maybe the pink here is so eye-catching, and the design is so kind of odd looking to me, the way that this is all configured, that it just kind of looks a little bit off. But R2 looks a little bit more subtle and well put together. I don't know, it's obviously completely subjective, but yeah, these two are definitely my favorite over on this side right here. And then we get all of these various accessories. So you have a rubber duck floaty, a cowboy hat. We have these sort of, this is the only kind of semi-realistic one to what we actually see in Star Wars, which is sort of R2's jet boosters that attach to his legs. And R2 also gets some headphones with a little bit of a Star Wars-y twist with the little antenna there. There's a balloon and sort of an ice cream cone or a cotton candy maybe for Chopper to hold onto with his little head arms. There's a mustache and some glasses to disguise some folks. A bow right here for, well, for any of them, but for is designated as for QT to put in her hair. A couple of what I guess are supposed to be like water pistols for some pranking for one of the droids to have on their attached to their feet. A baseball cap, or not a baseball cap, but a regular old sort of American red cap, and then a hat with a flower on it. I actually really like the build of that flower as a cartoony flower thing. It's a nice looking, but yeah, the hat is fairly simple. Another pair of glasses, these are more traditional, obviously, and then a bow tie and a sort of matching top hat that goes in the same sort of style. So there are the accessories that you get, and then I'll show you how you're intended to place them on some of the droids. So all of the droids come with a couple of studs on the top of their head, and then they just sort of have this awkward area in here that terminates where the tiled areas terminate, so to make room for the studs there. But then those just allow for any of the hats to be placed directly onto their heads, so you can do, you know, very easy swapping of those, and the two studs hold them in fairly securely, and then of course you can swap these amongst each of them. Each one can wear the different hat accessory on the same part of their head or the headphones. So they're all designed to work for pretty much all of them, although the little satellite dish, radar dish thingy on the top of this one's head kind of does get in the way of that, so you have to take that off if you want to add some of the accessories on. But most of them will work swapped across all of them. Oh, and I forgot to show R2 with the flower hat on his head, so there is how that looks. Very silly. And then each of the droids has jumper studs on the front of its face, so you can place things like a mustache right there, or you can place them lower down. So they all have jumper studs in the same locations here and here. So depending on where you think that looks better, you can place the glasses. Obviously it's a little bit awkward here because the eye is right in the middle and it's not covered by the glasses on this one. It kind of looks a little bit odd, but it's sort of like they're reading and their glasses are low slung for those. And then we also have the bow tie, which can sit here, you know, in the same place as the mustache would be placed. And then we have the bow as well that can just be placed in any of the top of their heads. And like I said, with the satellite dish, radar dish thingy, you just would remove that in favor of the bow accessory if you were going to use that one. And then Chopper is unique because he has the two little droid arms up here, so he gets the specialized accessories with the bar attachments on them, so he's really the only one that can make use of these. So yeah, go ahead and just give these to Chopper because they are essentially his. So there you go, he looks like he's ready for a day at the carnival or something. And another reason why Chopper's one of my faves is that the wheel actually works here, so he kind of feels very satisfying to roll around. Unlike the other ones that just sort of slide around on their feet regularly, this has a unique feel to it when you're playing with it, so I like that about it. And then finally we have the rocket boosters that can be placed onto the legs like so, and then those can sort of extend out to the side if you want to do a thing like that. Or I guess you could also make pretend and place these elsewhere on the droids, like so. For example, you could pretend that it's not in fact a rocket booster but some sort of a cutting arm, right? So you could place it on the front there and pretend like it's the droid is slicing through something, or just spraying somebody with water in their face, because it kind of looks like it could you know, double as water as well. And then also we have these little stud shooter cannons that are designed to go on their ankles to shoot off, again, I guess presumably to prank somebody, because you got the blue studs in here, which to me look like they're supposed to represent squirting water. So there's that. And then I wanted to show you how the rubber duck floaty looks on Chopper. It looks very, very wrong indeed, but the floaty is designed to go on the other astromechs, so let me just swap that. So you just pop off the bottom part of any of the droids' bodies, like so, and then you place the rubber duck floaty in place of that body section, and then you just remove the bottom part here with the foot, you place that underneath, and there you go. So they're wearing their pool floaty and they're ready to go out and have fun splashing. And then aside from that, the droids are also intended to have their parts be able to switch amongst one another, so you can switch the feet are major sections there, you can switch the body sections in here, the legs, and then the heads are also just connected on these Technic axles that don't come out very easily. I mean, or they don't come out at all, they're super built in there. So you can very easily dismantle your droids, and we can make a little we'll swap some parts here from QT around, right? So you can get the idea. And there you go. And we'll just leave one of her pink legs. Why not? And then give her the R2 head. And then the R2 undercarriage under here with, let's see, one of these feet. There you go. So yeah, essentially, right, you can mix and match the parts of your droids like so. And obviously, you can see, right, they're all kind of built in a modular way. So the same thing with the heads, the bottom half of the torso, top half of the legs, the feet, right? So those are the switchable elements. And so you can mix and match them to make your own droids. And so here's everybody with all of the accessories fit on that I'm able to fit, with a few kind of extras left in the front here. So why do I think that this set doesn't really work on a conceptual level? Well, I mean, it is just a bit of fun, right? At the end of the day, right, you're paying for the experience of building these mainly once, swapping them around a couple of times, and having some fun, maybe with, particularly with a younger kid who might not even really know that much about Star Wars, but just likes the look of these as toys, and will enjoy kind of Mr. Potato Heading them a little bit for a while. But I just think that the range of the things that you can do, the switching that you can do, doesn't really swap things around in a creative or dramatic way. It's just basically color swapping for the most part, right? So in order to make it so that each of these can be have their legs and heads pulled off and switched, they had to kind of keep them all relatively uniform, with the exception of Chopper, who's a little bit more squat. And what that results in is just not very much fun, right? Because it's not like these are different kinds of droids, different shapes, different functionalities that you can come up with wacky new configurations for. You're basically making a blue R2 into a pink R2, or a black one, or vice versa, or adding Chopper's head onto, you know, R2's body, right? It's, to me, it actually doesn't feel particularly creative at all. And the accessories that came with it are, you know, wacky and fun, and they're designed to kind of be like, oh my god, so random, right? There's a top hat on a droid. That's not a thing. And I totally understand, you know, what what they're trying to do. It's supposed to elicit a chuckle from, you know, grandma who thinks it's funny that the droid is wearing glasses, right? But I just think that as a toy that is designed to encourage creative thinking amongst kids, what this does, because it's a very modular thing, it encourages you to build it one way, snap a few things around, change the order up, and then you're sort of done. And I think that if this had actually included 4 different unique types of droids with a universal like joint for the arms or legs, so that you could swap around and make a super weird looking R2 with battle droid arms, or a Chopper that has the body of a pit droid, you know what I mean? Like there would be a way for you to genuinely make some crazy zany looking stuff, as opposed to just sort of color swapping astromechs. So that's kind of my feeling on it. I just think that the idea, like, I see what they were going for, but I just don't particularly think that it works. I think that something like a set of brickheads that are smaller, that had a smaller sort of less involved accessories that would have allowed the set to be a lot cheaper would have been more preferable in my book. But, you know, the set is what it is, and it's I see it, I get it, it's not for me, and I understand that. So my main gripe comes with this excellent little young Leia figure. So let's take a look at her really quick, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So little Leia here comes with her lovely droid Lola, with the printed rounded 2x2 flat piece there, and that looks absolutely great. The printing for little Leia looks really nice. It's simplified, but it really gets the costume across, and her face also there, it looks suitably innocent, right? She's supposed to be like, I think 8 or 9 years old, or 10 years old at this point, and this kind of very much like a first year Hogwarts student type of a look there, and I think that works really well. And then she has her sassy face, because the actress Vivian Lyra Blair, I think is her name, who played young Leia, did such a great job, and she had that young Leia sass down absolutely perfectly. So the face captures that there too, and Lola, the droid, is just absolutely wonderful. Even though it is just a 3-piece build with a print on it, it fills me with joy, and I really like it. And it gives you the stand as well, so you can have the droid floating by her side So that's all absolutely lovely and wonderful. The only problem is that it comes in this set. So why do I think that that's a problem? I just think that this set is not designed to appeal to the same market that all of the other sets in this collectible series, which you can clearly see they all have the same base. They're all unique figures. They're designed to be collected and appeal to collectors. I think that putting this figure in here was an attempt to get people to kind of coerce people in a way into buying a set that they would not otherwise buy. Of course, I understand you can go on Bricklink and you can grab the figure there. You're going to be paying a marked up price for it, but that's totally fine. That's just how the secondary market works, right? I get it. But in my mind, including this in a different playset that is of the same type of all of the others that we've gotten so far, you know, with this just being the single outlier, I just think that that was mistaken, and it just feels sketchy on on my end. It doesn't leave me with a good feeling, because I ordinarily would have just looked at this set as a whole and thought, oh, that's cute. It's not for me. Kids will enjoy it, but it's not the kind of thing I'm going to get. But I did want to pick it up purely because I was curious about the parts that were included in it, included within the set, and I obviously wanted to get my hands on this figure as well to complete my minifigure wall. So while I really love the figure, I really wish it had come in a different set than this one. So this set costs $100 US, and you get over 1,100 pieces with the set. So on a price to part ratio alone, it's a good deal. And if you're looking to get this as a parts pack, it has a lot of the a lot of the curved elements and fairly new rounded elements here. So if you're building a MOC that has a lot of those in it, that's really cool. The new 3x3 round tiles are included in here in fairly large volume, and there's a lot of different colored pieces due to the fact that, you know, these accessories are super wacky and crazy, so you get a lot of different pieces that you might not otherwise get from a Lego Star Wars set. So that's all good if you're somebody who's into, you know, creator buckets, you know, the basic brick type buckets. There's a lot of those type of things in here that you can probably put into MOCs and other things. So, you know, peruse the parts list and see if you think it's worthwhile. And then the other people are just people who are going to get this, sell the Leia minifigure, and then use the parts for other things, and just, you know, and just basically see it as well, discounted. I was going to say free Lego, but discounted Lego, because the Leia figure is not going to recoup you the entire cost of this set. So the thing that I think is unfortunate is the people who I don't really recommend it for is the target audience of like young kids who are looking to have wacky, fun, creative play. I think you'd be much better off with a Creator 3-in-1 set or something along those lines, where you can, I guess you can have more fun organically in a way that doesn't feel forced. You know what I mean? Like there's a forced play element to this, or forced fun, I guess, where it's like you're dressing up a droid to look like a magician guy or a lady with a hat, and it just sort of, it feels like the kind of thing that seems fun to adults, but that kids, when they get the set, would have to be like, oh, thank you, yay, Star Wars, I love it. But really, they're kind of just like, this doesn't really look super good. At least, you know, for me, this is all very subjective, and I just know that if I was a kid and I had gotten this set, I would not be super thrilled to have it. I, you know, tended to like a lot more, maybe not serious, but more kind of realistic play that could immerse me in the universe that I'm a fan of, whatever that universe happened to be. And this is sort of a deliberately immersion breaking experience, because you're adding in these wacky fun accessories from the real world onto Star Warsy droids. So if that's the kind of thing that appeals to you, if you have kids who are just like bright colors and fun things, I'm sure that they will get a kick out of this. But I do think there are other better options out there for you that are cheaper, and then just the inclusion of this just really does get on my nerves a little bit. So I was actually talking about how I thought that the Onyx Cinder would have been a perfect candidate for this figure in my other review, because that's a very kid-focused set. It's for, you know, it's a family show about kids, and Kid Leia would have fit right alongside the crew members in that set. And I think, you know, given that that one is a more expensive set, maybe that even wouldn't have been a good thing to do either. I might be doing more damage by suggesting that it be included in a $140 set instead of a $100 set. So I don't know, maybe I should just close my mouth on that one. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And I definitely feel a little bit, well, not a little bit, I feel pretty darn mixed about this. Though I know that I'm going to make good use of all the parts in here because, and that's the wonderful thing about Lego, these are all going to get made into other things. And when you see my mocks in future, there might be elements from this very set that make it into that mock that you see on the screen. So there you go. That's something positive that you can take away from this. So those are my thoughts overall. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I am very, very curious to know, do you like this? Am I being too hard on it? Am I just being just a grouch that has no capacity for fun or imagination, or am I on the money with my criticisms here? So that's going to be it for me today, guys. This is the last of the current batch of sets that I will be reviewing. I may have another batch of reviews out towards the end of the year as I pick up some of the stragglers that I didn't get from this wave. I did not pick up the Dark Falcon or the X-Wing TIE swappables, just because I simply, like I said, I wanted to get the ones I was most interested in, slash this one, because I just really wanted this figure. And so those are the ones I'm reviewing for the time being. So I'm going to get to work on more mocks and things. I have the T6 shuttle that needs an update coming to you guys very soon, so I'm going to get to work on that. I'll see you on the next video, and may the Force be with you.